Dear delegates, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome back to the second day of the FISA 2020 Extraordinary Congress. I hope that you have recovered from the session yesterday and that you are fully ready for the session today, our third day in a row, actually, if we consider the Ordinary Congress that we had on Friday. Technology has been working quite well, so we are not going to propose you another presentation. Again, if you are experiencing any technical problems, please contact us through the details that you have on the screen. We are sharing the screen now. And that you have also actually received on your emails. So you have all the details on the screen. As for the voting, we are going to have a test just before the first vote this morning. I will ask now the Executive Director to present again the registered delegates, the delegates number and the member federation, and also the actual member federations connected at this point in time.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. So there is no change from yesterday. We have a total of 91 member federations registered to participate in this Congress. Those with the right to vote, 72 member federations. Those with 3 votes of those 72 are 47, and 1 vote federations, 25. Makes a total, if everyone who registered participated, 166. We have 19 of our federations not voting based on the registration. Now, online and live with us, we have 56 federations and 39 of them 3 vote, 13 of them 1 vote, making a total of 130 votes. And we have 4 members that are not voting today. Thank you.
Thank you. I remind you about the approach to the scrutinies mentioned yesterday, but for the minutes, that Lumi's electronic voting system does not require physical scrutinies for the virtual voting. That being said, let me thank you again for your active contribution yesterday and your understanding in accepting the way we proceed for the review. I must say it was quite intense, a real performance to achieve the full review in one session. Actually, this is not by chance, but thanks to the anticipated approach, thanks to your preparation, dear delegates, and we would like to thank you for that. And last but certainly not least, thanks to the great professionalism of the Executive Director to run that kind of session. Thank you, Matt. As presented at the session yesterday, it was dedicated to the discussions. Today is for the voting only, and we will not reopen the discussions. I would like now to address the points raised yesterday. The Council met immediately after the session, and we will now present you its position on these points. First issue was related to new Article 22. So thank you again for the different comments made yesterday on this very important topic. Referring to the Egyptian question, Matt will now present you the position of the Council.
So there was a question yesterday from the Egyptian delegate, which questioned whether it was the physical presence of delegates of both genders at the Congress, or perhaps only at the time of submitting the names of the delegates. So we looked carefully at the wording there on the screen. For a member federation to accredit more than one delegate to the Congress, both genders must be represented in the member federation's delegation. And the council discussed this. And as you know, we're very committed to our progress on gender equality. And we decided that this would be interpreted as meaning at the time of registration at the Congress. And if this is not achieved when physical presence at the Congress, then the member federation will go aside and the executive committee will evaluate the situation and make a decision. So I hope this is a response to the Egyptian delegate on this question.
On the same subject, referring to the remark and concern from Germany, allow me to make a comment. I admit, and I did say it, we have a quite remarkable gender balance in the council and in the executive committee. And so without quota, that is true. But we have also at the same time to ensure that we will keep this trend. As for the Congress representation, we have been talking this matter for many, many years. You will remember my concluding words or remarks at the Extraordinary Congress in Tokyo, referring to the key decisions. And I quote, "I will add also that the great majority of you are in favor of a better gender balance at our congresses. This is very positive. Also, it will not be compulsory and imposed by our statutes. Can I encourage you all to move in that direction? We will monitor, and I hope that we will see an improvement in the coming years." So this was my words at the conclusion of the 2017 Extraordinary Congress. So the proposal actually did not pass the 2/3 majority by just a small number of votes. So 4 years later, where are we? It is clear that it's not satisfactory. The natural and self-engagement way is not working quickly enough to achieve what we want to achieve. This is a shame, but it's the reality. You can look at the statistic from the last 8 years of congresses. You have all the statistic on the screens, and it's clear. For this Congress, I'm told 14% only of the registered delegates are women. Can we be satisfied? Can we feel good or not concerned? I think that you will agree with me to say that the answer is obvious. We simply cannot continue and we have to act. This also damages the good reputation we are building for good governance. Our proposal is not aiming at making difficulties for you, but we will then collectively benefit from having a better female representation in our organization, and this at every levels. I will now move to the next point raised regarding the new Article 39. We have received an amendment from the Swiss Federation on this new article, and I will ask Matt to explain or to describe the new amendment proposed by the Swiss Federation.
Thank you. We've received a proposed amendment to the council proposal from the Swiss Rowing Federation. You'll see it in blue at the right-hand side of your screen. It's related, the main point here is the election of the Athletes Commission chair. I'll now ask the Swiss Rowing Federation to take the floor and present their proposal. I think Christian will be the one speaking, I'm not sure. Okay, please unmute and go on video if possible, so we can see and hear you. Okay, I think it's
the
okay
Swiss
now.
Federation's goal is to strengthen the position of the chair of the Athletes Commission and to give her or him the highest possible legitimation with the confirmation through the Congress. This is in addition to the nomination through the National Federation, the election through the peers, and/or the confirmation through the Council. This guarantees that each member of the Executive Committee, with the exception of the Executive Director, was at some point confirmed or elected by the Congress. The practicalities with the election and nomination procedure would require some more time and some amendments in Appendix 5. Consider that bylaw and therefore in the competence of the Council to make the necessary steps. We therefore recommend to start the athlete election year earlier with the World Rowing Coastal Championships in the post-Olympic year. Again, we fully support this historic and important step to have the chair of the Athletes Commission as an ex officio member in the Executive Committee of World Rowing on behalf of all the athletes in rowing. We think that the legitimation is even higher if the Athlete Commission's chair is confirmed by the Congress. We therefore kindly ask you to support our amendment for Article 39. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian Stoffer.
Thank you very much for your explanation. Let me just make a comment and be clear on this topic as well. We certainly don't disagree with the principle that the Athletes Commission chair be elected to the Executive Committee by the Congress, but it's a practicality issue. I think that there is a consensus on having the athletes be represented in the governing bodies of our organization. FISA will be in front line with good governance, having athletes elected by their peers in the Athletes Commission and the chair seated in the Executive Committee. With these principles, we then developed the structure and the regulation that is presented in Appendix S5. The implementation of the quite simple principles that we all agree about into a proper regulation that is presented in Appendix 5 is really difficult. The implementation of this quite simple principle into a proper regulation has been an extremely difficult exercise. And when it comes to the how, the complexity is significant. So again, we don't disagree with the principle in the Swiss amendment. However, the issue is that the entire proposed regulation in the Appendix S5 would simply not be possible to implement. The Swiss amendment does not come with a practical implementation. I must say that we have been through this exercise in depth. We have studied any possible options, and we have not been able to find a procedure which would match the timing to have the election at the Congress. So you have on the screen the Council comment to the Swiss proposal or amendment. No objection in the principle, but the timing does not work and could negatively affect the athletes' performance at the World Championships. So now I think we have to move with the vote to select the proposal that will be then presented for change. So be aware again that we will have to withdraw Appendix S5 in case the Swiss amendment is selected. So now I ask the Executive Director to run this first vote, but we will have a test before that.
Thank you. We will make a test now of voting. If you will remember from yesterday, the procedure. I'll bring up the test vote. You see the question on the screen. Now, voting delegates, please switch to the Lumi voting platform to vote on this question. The question is, who is the treasurer of FISA? You see the options. The vote is now open. Gerrit Jan is getting nervous that he might have a replacement. In 10 seconds, we will close the vote. Please close the vote. The vote is now closed. And the result is possible votes 135, valid votes cast 115. Mario Draghi, 9 votes. Christine Lagarde, 13. Gerrit Jan Egenkamp, 93. Abstain, 9. So Gerrit Jan retains his position as treasurer of FISA. Thank you very much. Please, I will now share the screen again. So now we'll come to a vote on the proposed amendment to the council's proposal. Okay, this will be at an absolute majority. You will pick between these two options on an absolute majority vote. 1, the council's proposal, 2, the Swiss Federation proposal. Will the voting delegates please now switch to the Lumi voting platform? The vote is now open. In 10 seconds, we will close this vote. Please close the vote. The vote is closed.
So we have the result. Total possible votes 138, abstention and blank votes 18, valid votes cast 120. Council proposal 102, Swiss Rowing Federation's proposal 18, abstain 4. So the council proposal will now move to the approval when we will reach that point at the voting session. Thank you. We have now actually reached the voting session, the full voting session. So as explained and committed, we have built the voting schedule based on your request. It was published, and I'm sure you have received it yesterday, and it's now on your screens. So as you can see, we have 24 votes today. I have few comments. The votes on articles and rules include the related bylaws. The votes related to statutes, articles, and rules of racing require a 2/3 majority of the valid vote cast to be adopted. The votes related to the appendices, all bylaws, will require the absolute majority, so 50%. The last 3 votes related to Agenda 5B, Agenda 5C, and Agenda 5D require the absolute majority. So I'm passing over to the Executive Director to conduct these votes.
Thank you very much. We will now start the voting session. The first vote, vote number 1, is connected to our proposal for Article 1. You see Article 1 on your screen. We will now move to the vote. Voting delegates, please switch to the Lumi platform. The vote is now open. In 10 seconds, we will close the vote. Please close the vote. The vote is closed. Result, Pete, you may share the screen right away.
Total possible votes, 138. Abstention and blank vote, 8. Valid votes cast, 130. The results are yes, 127, no, 3. So this first vote is approved. Article 1 is approved.
We will now move to the planned vote number 2, which is a grouping of Articles New 2 to New 21. If you have any questions, please write them in the question, because we are not going to have comments and questions in the middle of the voting. I'll pause for a second. Stefan, you may write your question. I don't see a question, so we will move now to vote 2. The vote considers Articles New 2 to 21. Voting delegates, please switch to the Lumi platform, and we will move forward with this vote. The vote is now open. Voting will close in 10 seconds. Please close the vote. The vote is closed. May we have the results, please?
Total possible votes, 138. Abstention and blank votes, 11. Valid votes cast, 127. Yes, 127. Thank you. So we have approved Articles 2 to Articles 21.
We will now consider vote number 3. This is the new Article 22. You can see the proposed changes on the screen. And this was the article was discussed earlier. We will now go to the vote. Voting delegates, please switch to the Lumi voting platform. And we will open the vote. The vote is open. In 10 seconds, we will close the vote. Please close the vote. The vote is now closed. May we have a result?
Total possible votes 138, abstention and blank votes 6, valid votes cast 132, yes 108, no 24.
Passes.
It passes, yeah. We don't know.
We now move to vote number 4, which is a grouping of articles 23 to 38. You can see the proposal on the screen. Voting members, please switch to the Lumi voting platform. We will now open the vote. The vote is open. In 10 seconds, we will close this vote. Please close the vote. The vote is closed. And the result, please.
So total possible votes 138, abstention and blank votes 11, valid votes cast 137, yes 124, which makes 97.64, no 3. So this proposed pass again. Thank you.
We will now move to vote number 5, related to new Article 39. You can see the proposed changes on the screen. This was the article that you just voted on in the amendment phase. So we will now ask the voting delegates to move to the Lumi voting screen and see the question on the screen. The vote is now open. In 10 seconds, we will close this vote. You're going to get very tired today of hearing me say this over and over. Please close the vote. The vote is closed. May we have a result, please?
So total possible votes 138, abstention and blank votes 5, valid votes cast 133, yes 126, no 7. So the yes is 94.74%. This vote passes. Thank you.
So we will now move to vote number 6. We have grouped these as articles new 40 to new 70 in a block vote. Requires a 2/3 majority. May I ask the voting delegates to switch to the Lumi voting platform? And the vote is on your screens. The vote is now open. In 10 seconds, we will close the vote. Please close the vote. The vote is closed. Results, please.
Total possible votes 139, abstention and blank votes 2, valid votes cast 137, yes 134, which makes 97.81%, no 3, so the proposal passes. Thank you.
We will now move to vote 7, which is a grouping of the first 4 statute appendices. And this is a vote at absolute majority, as these are considered bylaws. You see the motion on the screen. Voting delegates, please switch again. And we will open the vote. The vote is open. In 10 seconds, we will close this vote. Please close the vote. The vote is closed. May switch to the Zoom screen, delegates, and let's see the results.
So total possible votes 139, abstention blank votes 6, valid votes cast 133, yes 130, which makes 97.74%, no 3. So this proposal is adopted.
We move to vote 8. We have pulled out separately the appendix related to the Athletes Commission regulations, where you can see all of the details that we discussed earlier about the complexity related to making this election process happen. So I hope you've had a chance to look. We will now go to a vote on statute appendix S5. Delegates, voting delegates, please switch. And please open the vote, Pete. In 10 seconds, we will close the vote. Please close the vote. Vote is closed. Please switch back to Zoom, voting delegates, and let's see the results.
Total possible votes 139, abstention and blank votes 6, valid votes cast 133, yes 129, which makes 96.99%, no 4. Proposal is approved.
We will now finish with the statute appendices grouped. This includes the audit committee, the internal audit committee, finance committee, duties, etc. You can see the motion on the screen. Voting delegates, please switch to Lumi, and we will open the vote. We'll close the vote in 10 seconds. Please close the vote. Vote is closed. May we have the results? You may switch back to Zoom, voting delegates.
Total possible votes 139, abstention and blank votes 6, valid votes cast 133, yes 133, which makes 100%. Thank you. This proposal is approved.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we just approved the new statutes of FISA, World Rowing, excuse me. And thank you for your great concentration and help on this. We will now move to the rules of racing. The first vote, and vote 10, is a grouping of the new rules 1 to 12. And I just want to, before we move to voting, to say that for Tokyo, one or two of the changes might not be possible to change in time for Tokyo. So we will study that after we complete this process. But we're pretty convinced it will go forward. Thank you. We will now ask the voting delegates to move to the Lumi platform, and we will open the vote. In 10 seconds, we will close this vote. Please close the vote. Vote is now closed. May we see the results and switch back to Zoom.
Total possible votes 142, abstention and blank votes 8, valid votes cast 134, yes 134. Thank you. These rules are adopted.
We've had the comment that it takes a couple seconds more to switch back to Zoom. So I will go a little bit slower on the process so you can get back into Zoom to continue the Congress. We will now go to vote 11, which is the new rule 13, men's and women's events. You see the text on the screen. Behind this is Appendix R1, where we define the exact procedure in the case of a change of gender. So this would put us in line with leading international sports federations. Voting delegates, please move to the Lumi platform. And please now open the vote. In 10 seconds, we will close the vote. Please close the vote. Vote is closed. May we please have the result? You may switch back to Zoom, delegates.
Total possible votes 143, abstention and blank votes 16, valid votes cast 127, yes 117, which makes 92%, and no 10. This rule is approved.
We will now move to vote number 12, nearly halfway. The question is on the screen. It is related to a grouping of the new rules 14 to 21. May I ask the voting delegates to move back to Lumi? And Pete, please open the vote. In 10 seconds, we will close the vote. Please close the vote. Vote is now closed. Let's see the results. Switch back to Zoom, everyone.
Total possible votes 143, abstention and blank votes 15, valid votes cast 128, yes 128. So thank you. Rules 14 to 21 are adopted.
We've reached the 1,000-meter mark. We are more than halfway. Do we get a coffee break now, JC? No, we have to keep working. Okay. So we move to vote 13, which is the rule related to lightweights. Actually, no change in content, just moving the actual details of weighing to be a bylaw rather than a rule. And the part in green will be the next vote, not this vote. So this vote is simply to approve the fact that we move the detailed part into a bylaw and the principle of the lightweights in the rule. So voting delegates, please move to the Lumi platform and we will open the vote. Ten seconds and we will close the vote. Please close the vote. Vote is closed. Results, please.
Total possible votes 143, abstention and blank votes 11, valid votes cast 132, yes 129, which makes 97.73%, no 3. So rules 22, new rule 22 is adopted.
We now move to vote 14, which is the request to delegate the authority of this Congress to the 2022 Ordinary Congress, because the Sports Medicine Commission wants to carry out this analysis of lightweight rowing on the medical side. And we would like to then have the chance to present to you at the 2022 Ordinary Congress in Rachiche, any possible proposed changes for your consideration and vote at a 2/3 majority. So, do you agree to delegate the authority to this Congress? Please switch to the Lumi platform, voting delegates, and the vote is now open. In 10 seconds, we will close this vote. Please close the vote. Vote is closed. And the results, please.
Total possible votes 143, abstention and blank votes 12, valid votes cast 131, yes 121, which makes 92.37%, no 10. So this motion is adopted.
Next is vote number 15, which is the proposals for rules new 23 and 24. Voting delegates, please move to Lumi, and we will open this vote. In 10 seconds, we will close the vote. Please close the vote. Vote is closed. Switch back to Zoom, please, and let's see the results.
Total possible votes 143, abstention and blank votes 15, valid votes cast 128, yes 128. So rules new 23 to 24 are adopted.
Vote 16. This is the World Championship program. You see in red the changes that are proposed. We will make a separate vote on the element of green in green there, which is the delegation of authority to the 2022 Ordinary Congress. So this is a vote on the rule as you see it. We'll take on the next vote the part in green. Voting delegates, please move to the Lumi platform, and we will now open this vote. Ten seconds and we will close the vote. Please close the vote, Pete. Vote is closed. Results, please. You may switch back to Zoom, everyone.
So the result, total positive vote, possible votes 143, abstention and blank votes 12, valid votes cast 131, yes 131. Thank you. Rule 25 is adopted.
We will now move to vote 17 out of 24. And this is the vote on the delegation of authority to address possible changes to the World Championship event programs at the 2022 Ordinary Congress. Delegates, please switch to Lumi, and we will open this vote. In 10 seconds, we will close the vote. Please close the vote. Voting is closed, and results, please. And you can switch back to Zoom.
Total possible votes 143, abstention and blank votes 9, valid votes cast 134, yes 137, which makes 94.78%, no 7. So the Congress has approved to give the authority to 2022 Congress to consider possible change to Rule New 25. Thank you.
We now move to vote 18, which is a grouping of votes for rules new 26 to new 87. We had no requests for any of these to be individually voted yesterday, so we now take this block vote. Voting delegates, please switch to Lumi, and we will open the vote. In 10 seconds, we will close the vote. Please close the vote. Vote is closed. Results, please. Everyone switch back to Zoom.
Total possible votes 143, abstention and blank votes 12, valid votes cast 131, yes 131. So rules new 26 to 87 are approved.
We now move to the appendices to the rules of rowing. And this is a block vote on rules, on appendices 1 to 9, R1 to R9. So voting delegates, please move to Lumi, and we will open this vote. In 10 seconds, we will close this vote. Please close the vote. Vote is closed. Results, please, and switch back to Zoom.
Here are the results. Total possible votes 143, abstention and blank votes 8, valid votes cast 135, yes 135. So appendices R1 to R9 are approved.
We have pulled out the anti-doping bylaws for an individual vote. These have been completely reviewed by WADA and approved by WADA for presentation to you. We've also had them reviewed by the independent testing agency, which is the new creation of the IOC for independence and testing. And so we can confirm that these are fully in compliance with the WADA World Anti-Doping Code. So if I could ask the voting delegates to move to Lumi, and we propose a vote for our new anti-doping bylaws. Please open the vote. In 10 seconds, we will close this vote. Please close the vote. Vote is now closed. Results, please. Please switch back to Zoom, everyone.
Total possible votes 144, abstention and blank votes 9, valid votes cast 135, yes 132, which makes 97.78%, no 3. The anti-doping bylaws are approved. Thank you.
And now a block vote for the remainder of the appendices. We had no requests for individual votes yesterday. So we will move to a block vote on appendices R11 to R20. Will the voting delegates please switch to Lumi? And please open the vote, Pete. We'll close the vote in 10 seconds. Please close the vote, Pete. Votes closed. Results, please. Switch back to Zoom.
Total possible votes 144, abstention and blank votes 8, valid votes cast 136, yes 136. Appendices 11 to 20 are approved.
Thank you. We now have World Rowing Rules of Racing. Thank you to the Governance Working Group. Thank you to the Rules Working Group. Thank you to Lucy and Cam. Thank you, Council. It's been a long process, but we're not over yet. So we will now move to agenda item 5. Anything you would like to say to introduce? Or we keep
no, I think we presented yesterday, so the point 5A has been already dealt with. We can move now to 5B, and over to you.
Okay, so this, to remind you from yesterday, is the issue related to the calculation of voting rights and membership subscriptions. You will have seen this document on the website, and you'll have seen this solution on this document. We discussed it a little bit yesterday, and we will now move to a vote. This is an absolute majority vote for our proposal to deal with the impact of COVID-19 on these issues. Voting members, voting delegates, please switch to Lumi, and let's open the vote, please. In 10 seconds, we will close the vote. Please close the vote. Vote is closed. Results, please. Please switch back to Zoom, everyone.
Total possible votes 144, abstention and blank votes 11, valid votes cast 133, yes 127, which makes 95.49%, no 6. The council proposal is adopted.
Vote 23. This is item 5C. The documents you will have seen, the documents on the screen now you will have seen on the website, which is to get a verification from you that we continue in this way. So we will move to a vote on these proposed procedures. Voting delegates, please switch to Lumi. The vote issues on your screen and the vote is open. In 10 seconds, we'll close the vote. Please close the vote. Vote is closed. Results, please, Pete.
Total possible votes 144, abstention and blank votes 6, valid votes cast 138, yes 138. Thank you. The council proposal is adopted.
Now we move to agenda item 5D, the Paris 2024 Olympic event program.
I think we have
anything to add?
We have discussed this item yesterday. I just want to say to the Congress and to the delegates that we'll be continuing our effort and in the discussions and the negotiation with the IOC and the organizing committee and the stakeholders. We will keep you informed as when we are in this journey to the final decision by the IOC Executive Board. And as mentioned yesterday, we propose to convene a member federation meeting virtually, of course, soon after the IOC Executive Board decision. So we haven't planned yet and scheduled the dates, but the IOC Executive Board is planned to be from the 8th to the 10th of December. So I think that in that period of time, be prepared to have a member federation virtual consultation meetings.
And I think if something important happens between now and then, we also reserve the right to call you together to share with you any.
We'll keep you informed, of course, as long as we have information that we can share with you.
So we will move to the final vote of the day, vote 24. Do you approve the Council's proposal for the Paris 2024 Olympic event program? Voting delegates, please move to Lumi, and the vote is open. In 10 seconds, we will close the vote. Okay, please close the vote. And closed, and let's see the screen. The results. Back to Zoom, everyone.
Total possible votes 144, abstention and blank votes 8, valid votes cast 136, yes 125, which makes 91.91%, no 11. So thank you. The council proposal will be submitted to the IOC as regard to the Paris 2024 Olympic rowing program.
I want to point out that the FISA has presented a proposed new program for the Paralympic Games. Their timing was announced late and we couldn't fit it in, and it's a proposal to add an additional boat in the PR3 category, which is a mixed double. And we have a question on the screen from Germany, Dag Dansklock, about item 5A, advertising, and we can confirm that what we've already written, that we will not make a change until we make this analysis of the full situation of advertising, and we commit to present something at the Shanghai Congress. Any other business? We have 2 items here. Shall I keep going?
Yep.
So the first item, 6A, is about the qualification systems. And we have an answer from the IOC, but not the IPC yet. The IOC deadline will be November 2021. So we will as we did in 2017, have member federation meetings along the road, develop a near final draft to present and discuss at the Ordinary Congress in Shanghai in October, 25th of October, and then we'll be in a position to meet the IOC's deadline of November 2021. We, of course, wait for the decision in December on what will be the events and the quota for Paris 2024, but we will find out in December, of course, and start this next process. Item 6B is discussing the World Championship Program decision timeline, and that's already been covered because it will be presented. We will be discussing it along the road, but presented to you, the Congress, to the member federation delegates at the Ordinary Congress in 2022. Any other business? President, over to you.
I don't have. I would just like to highlight maybe 2 points to make it clear. The statutes and rules of racing are effective immediately as per Rule New 70 or Article 70. And just to remind you, as it was just approved, the 2022 Ordinary Congress has been given the authority to change. So new Rule 22 related to the weighing of the lightweight, and new Rule 25 related to the World Championship Events Program. So I also want to make the clarification. From now, we shall start finalizing the rule book. And like in the past, I'm sure we will find some typos or inconsistencies here and there, as to ensure the final wording consistency before to launch the editing and the press. I will ask you to allow us the minor adjustment that is needed, of course, without any change. That's clear. Any change in the substance, in the meaning, in the sense and spirit of the rule, it's just about a minor adjustment or wording. So thank you very much. That's the only point I wanted to say. Matt, we are relating to Article 70 for the statutes. It's effective immediately, as it says. And if you look at Article,
Okay. Yeah.
we just check. No, for the rules, for the statutes, Article 70 says it's effective immediately, and for the rules, we are checking to be clear. We have time actually. And the rule says that it's effective also immediately.
Very good. You're correct. We have a question from Ian Bramble of Canada. When does the IPC meet to consider the 2024 program? My understanding is that they wait for the IOC to work out the Olympic programs, and the decision for the Paralympic programs follows the decisions from the IOC. So hopefully January, but I will check that with the IPC and let you know.
Okay. Before we close the Congress, do you have any technical aspect or logistical aspect to mention? There is no transport.
Yeah, the lunch will take place after this Congress, and the transport to the airport will be 10 minutes after the lunch.
So, okay, dear delegates, we have now reached the end of the Extraordinary Congress. I would like to really thank you very much for what I can consider as a successful Congress. It was in a very particular context. We missed, actually, we're just talking about that, but we really missed the social part of it. I must say that it's really a big frustration that we have not been able to meet in person. I would like to thank very much the interpreters, Marie-Odile and Rudolph. I would like also to express our appreciation to the Executive Director, Matt Smith, and his team for the great preparation Again, it has been a massive work behind the scene, I can tell you. First on the content, and I would like to echo Matt by thanking the working groups, and it was a 3-year-long process, many meetings. So thank you to all of you. It was also a massive work on the logistical aspect, and it seems that at the end it works quite well. So it's here again, it's a huge amount of details, and as you know, all these details have to come together to make it a success. So thank you very much to all who have been contributed to this, to the preparation on the logistical aspects. A big thank thank you and our gratitude to the governance manager, Lucie Trochet, and to Ludovica Caprino in charge of the logistics. So quite a strong pressure on you, and well done. Thank you to Brian Orsini, Patrick Gumbar for the technology, and I would say almost all the staff. We have Matt Evans in the room. We have Paolo over there, and all the ones who were connected. So thank you to you all for your great support. And if I may say, and ask for a big virtual applause to all of them. So I hope our delegates are joining me to applaud, to give you a big of applause. Thank you. I would like to thank again our honorary President, Denis Oswald, as we are now actually starting a new review. I can tell you that this is an ongoing exercise. We'll start it to see how we can make our rules and statutes improve. So thank you to Denis to start with that, the new review, and we will continue to counting on your great and valuable support, and of course at the same conditions. It means for free and on a full voluntary basis. Thank you for that. We really appreciate your support to our sport, and thank you very much. So let me also express our gratitude and a special shout to the Executive Director, Matt Smith, who has successfully contributed to his, what I can call now, his last Extraordinary Congress in this role. How many since the first one? How many congresses? I don't know, but a lot, certainly a lot. This is the last Extraordinary Congress for Matt indeed. This is the life of every organization. Matt has decided after 25 years, more than 25, it was already 25 years last year. So it
95.
Okay, so 25 years in this role. He has decided to leave his position after the 2021 Ordinary Congress. So I would like to, it's not time for tribute yet. I would like just to reassure the member federations that Matt will be with us to ensure a smooth transition, and we will be soon launching the recruitment process for his successor. I just wanted actually to inform the delegates so that it's not that it's clear for everyone. Dear delegates, I would like now to conclude by thanking you very much. I would like to express my gratitude on your constructive and positive spirit in your contributions. It's really appreciable, I can tell you. It's really valuable and very much appreciated. That we always we are talking about sport and or sport-related matters, and we don't deal with pure political issues, conflicts, like too many other sports organizations and including some international federations. So at the time when the credibility of the leaders of sport organization has been severely damaged because of a few but too many bad examples of scandals, we can generally say that we are in FISA, in World Rowing, we are really generally sport-oriented, athletes-oriented, and this for the benefit of our sport, for the benefits of our athlete, and this for the future. and you can be all collectively very proud of that. So this is my last word. I started this Congress reflecting on the difficult time the world is currently experiencing. I sincerely hope that we can go through this period and soon we can see the end of this tunnel. I wish we will have a fantastic 2021 season with the Olympic and the Paralympic Games, and really be really optimistic that we can meet again in person very soon. In this very particular circumstances, no need for me to wish you a safe journey back home, but instead my best wishes for you and your families. Again, and as always, thank you very much for your contribution, and stay healthy, take care, and goodbye for now. I now declare the 2020 FISA Extraordinary Congress by video conference closed.